The boy's hands trembled as he held up the small paper flag, his voice cracking against the jeers. Flags for sale? Just $1. A group of teenagers laughed, circling him like predators. One boy snatched a flag, crumpled it, and tossed it to the ground. Who even buys this junk? He sneered, brushing past the boy like he was nothing more than air. The crowd at the city square either ignored the scene or pretended not to see. No one stopped. No one cared. Except for the boy, who silently bent to pick up his fallen flag, gently unfolding its creases with small, careful fingers. His name was Daniel, barely 12, thin as a reed, wearing a jacket 2 sizes too big, his shoes scuffed and torn. His eyes, though, held something that didn't belong on a street corner, a quiet, aching resolve. Every morning, Daniel pushed his battered wooden cart, its wheels creaking under the weight of carefully folded flags. Not the shiny kind sold in big stores. His were handmade, his late father's tradition. Each flag bore stitches from calloused fingers, each thread a lesson in patience, in pride. His father had served. A soldier who never came back from his final tour. Daniel never saw the medals. Only the folded flag handed to his mother, now faded and kept in a tin box under their bed. The flags Daniel sold were not just cloth. They were stories. They were him, clinging to the last thread that connected him to his father, but people didn't see that. Day after day, they brushed past him. Some laughed, some pitied, most ignored. Daniel remained silent, selling that he had long learned that. Begging wouldn't bring respect. Selling, standing with dignity, no matter how many times people mocked him. That was his silent protest that on that bitter winter morning, the teenagers returned. Their laughter louder, their mockery sharper. Still, here, flag boy, you think anyone cares about these stupid flags anymore? One shoved his cart. Another slapped the flags to the ground. Daniel's chest burned, but he said nothing. He knelt, gathering the flags with quiet, trembling hands, his breath fogging in the cold air. Around him, the crowd watched, silent, complicit, from across the square. An older man approached. His steps were slow, measured. His coat was simple, but the gleam on his chest betrayed his past. A row of medals worn not for display, but because he never took them off. General Mitchell was a man whose reputation could fill books. A soldier's soldier, respected, feared, but unknown to most. His own son had fallen in a distant desert, a boy the same age Daniel had been when he lost his father. The general's gaze swept over the scene. The toppled cart, the crushed flags, the boy's silent tears. He didn't speak to the teenagers. He didn't raise his voice. Instead, he stepped to the cart, knelt beside Daniel, and began picking up the fallen flags with the same reverence as one might handle a national banner. Daniel looked up, confused. The general's voice was quiet, but it carried the weight of 1,000 battlefields. How much for the entire cart, son? The square fell silent. The teenagers froze. Daniel blinked, his voice barely a whisper. "Yes, sir, all of them." The general nodded, pressing a thick envelope into Daniel's hand. "Every single one. I'll find homes for them." A woman nearby began to cry. A shopkeeper quietly stepped forward, buying one of the remaining flags before the general could claim it. One by one, people approached, their silence breaking into a quiet ripple of shame and admiration. The teenagers slowly backed away, their mockery now ash in their throats. Without another word, the general stood, adjusted his cap, and saluted the boy. "Carry on, soldier." It was a moment carved into the city's memory, a silent salute to dignity, to perseverance, to quiet battles fought on lonely streets. In the days that followed, the story spread. People began seeking Daniel's flags, not for their stitching, but for what they symbolized. It was no longer about the cloth. It was about the boy who sold them, the silent warrior who never lowered his flag, no matter how cold the wind blew. And Daniel's words, once unheard, became a quiet anthem. You don't need to be loud to stand tall. Respect isn't given. It's carried, sometimes by the smallest hands. Some battles, they realized, are not fought in wars. Some are fought on street corners, where silent strength speaks louder than 1,000 shouts. There are battles we never see, and heroes we walk past every day. If this story moved you, tell me where you're watching from, and share your thoughts in the comments. For more stories that honor silent warriors, remember to subscribe.